Noon, 3:13, May 9th, 1858. My family and I have made our way to London. I am to perform in their great halls. I hope it doesn't prove to be too much of a bore. I hear they are rather strict and uptight here in England. Evening, 10:10, May 13th, 1858. There has been a darkness haunting me since I came to England. It's left me at a great unease. My parents are saying it's merely homesickness, but I doubt it. It's like a creature of the night, watching me, stalking me, hunting me. Whatever it is, I fear it. My parents say the concert this Friday will ease my mind. I pray they are right. It is hard to sleep when it feels that even darkness has eyes that are watching you. Evening, 11:55, May 15th, 1858. As expected, my concert was a complete success. There was the polite applause and the bewildered stares at my ever-so-casual nature. Englishmen and women are not very accustomed to my way of speaking. I suppose I do not look too far off from an English rose, with my warm cheeks and lush lips. How perfectly their type I must be. I don't know why I perform some of the time. Why waste the night entertaining those with not nearly half as much talent as I do, just for them to tell me what I already know? Though I suppose there is a power to it. People stopping and watching and listening, all because I have the stage. As to be expected, many gentlemen had tried to catch my eye at the after-party. And though I fear him, or at least feel wary, there is one that I can truly say caught my attention. It all started with my maid, Nicolette, tugging at me and saying something like,
"Mademoiselle Lottie, it seems you've got the attention of a new handsome admirer."
She was always such a simple girl, easy to swoon over the first bachelor who gave her any attention. I looked over, and it was as if my heart stopped and time froze when my eyes made contact with those of another. Staring at me was a very pleasantly decorated man in gray, with such soft and long platinum hair. He had an eye patch over his right eye that was in good taste with his ruffles and embroidery. He towered over a good amount of those around him, and bore a bit of otherworldly attributes. I felt as though this man was not English and was a foreigner, just like me. He had been faced away from me, but not so much so that he could inconspicuously look back at me ever so casually. When he saw that I was staring back, he gave me a charming and tender smile. But I felt no flushness or pleasantries. I simply went cold. For whatever reason, I do not know why, upon meeting his eyes, I felt as the way I have while alone at night. I opened my fan to cover my face and asked, "Are you talking about that tall gentleman over there?" My new English companion, Bertha, had informed,
"That is Count von Dunkelheit, very rich, but, as a lot of aristocrats are, known for being eccentric."
German?
"I believe so. He has such lovely blonde locks."
Nicolette chimed back in.
"And those piercing blue eyes."
I responded in a dismissing way. More like I wonder why a young aristocrat such as himself would need an eye patch. I felt the need to find every reason to disdain this stranger, to find every fault and turn myself away. I told myself the last thing I should do was engage with him, no matter how tempting it seemed. My other maid, Edith, dared to ask,
"Why don't you go find out, Miss Lottie?"
"He's looking this way again,"
Nicolette said in an excitable voice. I simply rolled my eyes and jeered. "And?" Bertha then asked,
"Did you just make eye contact? Is that why he flashed a smile?"
You should tease him.
Edith giggled.
Miss Lottie, make him hopelessly crawl to you and then leave him flat on the floor.
I didn't know how to explain my feelings, but I tried to keep them off my back as I responded. Something about that man seems strangely familiar. It's eerie. I don't think I should instigate.
No fun. You always were down for breaking hearts.
Ooh.
Bertha howled.
Could it be that Lottie is admiring back? She hasn't put her fan down this entire time.
I simply rolled my eyes once more, calling them out as the insufferable tarts they are as I made my way for some champagne and space. But it didn't seem to be in anyone's desire to leave me alone.
Ah, Mademoiselle Lambert.
Began a voice in my native tongue, but was foreign to me both in dialect and familiarity.
I enjoyed your performance immensely.
I looked to find that the German suitor had actually made his way to me, which explains the unfamiliar accent. I simply scoffed with the response, "You in the entire hall."
I found your skills on the keys quite...
He took a pause,
What's the word?
and then another that made me feel the need to hold my breath.
Intoxicating.
As was traditional, he grabbed my hand and gave it a soft kiss. Those aren't the only skills my hands have. I felt the desire to damn myself for my naturally flirtatious nature. I was quick to change the subject. You're Count von Dunkelheit, correct? You speak French very well for a German man in England. Why did he feel so familiar? I knew no Germans, and he was a resident of England, no? How else would he be so well known? Have we met before?
I hope not. It would mean I wasn't impressionable on you enough. Besides, I'm sure I'd remember meeting you.
Are you sure? I feel as though we have. I don't know why I couldn't believe this notion or let it go. He gave a slight laugh, seeming to be polite and suggesting.
Maybe you've seen me in town or something.
I highly doubt it, though. He felt just like that darkness that's haunted me since I came to England. I should probably be leaving now. I wanted to make my exit as soon as possible and was keen to not have any more contact, even if it meant I needed to be rude or insulting.
It was a pleasure.
I wish I could say the same, but alas, don't think I really can. Though it felt like a crude lie when those words passed my lips, I told myself it was for the better. Adieu, monsieur. He simply bowed and allowed me to rejoin my posse. I won't forget that man. I don't think I can. I hope we are never to meet again.
September 9th, Sunday, 1893. Perhaps Charlotte thought I wouldn't notice that both Heidi's and Lottie's journals are missing. I wasn't sure if it had been the new girl, Lizette, or Charlotte who was responsible, but my confirmation in my daughter being the one to take them was by finding them in her bedroom. It would also seem that she has been looking through my journals as well. She has always been a curious girl, and while I may not like people touching my personal possessions without prior permission, I suppose I did tell Charlotte that she has free access to any reading material present in my study. And that's exactly where I kept the journals. There's no harm to be gained by her going through them, not like she's unaware and didn't live through some of the contents herself. So, Charlotte, if you think you're doing this behind my back and do end up reading this, though that's very seldom am I a fool in my own manner. And by very seldom, I mean never. I know all that's happened here.